because the body can't tell if it's a virus, a bacteria, a parasite. So it goes through phagocytosis and brings its immune system to bear on food. And that's why after a meal, if we're not eating properly, proper amounts of food, proper combinations of food, allowing ourselves to have a digestion that's good, going for a moderate speed walk after a meal is the best way of getting digestion going. In any case, now instead, you're sluggish, you're bloated, you're gaseous, and now the immune system is being diverted from where it's needed just to take care of all these matters that are going in there, and the body now is highly inflammatory. And that's why people feel more pain after a meal than they do before. Just something to think about. All right? And next up is there is a positive link between our emotions and our health, but also our culture. University of Wisconsin says that positive emotions are often seen as critical aspects of healthy living. I agree. But new research suggests that the link between emotion and health outcomes may vary by cultural context. The findings were published in Psychological Science, the journal of the Association for Psychological Science, and it shows that experiencing positive emotions is linked with better cardiovascular health. But in the United States, but not in Japan. That's interesting. So then I wanted to go further in this, and I started looking at the importance of cultural context for understanding the links between emotions and health. And then you have to look in multiple different contexts. For example, in some cultures, the entire family's input is valued, and therefore people feel they can speak freely and honestly about issues, and especially when they're having meals. But not all cultures. In some cultures, women are separated from men. And that in itself will create at the subconscious level a sense of inferiority, even if a person doesn't complain about it or doesn't want to change it. We have to differentiate the conflation that can occur when a person is obeying a conditioned cultural rule because they do not have a dominant position versus those who are dominant in any culture, and therefore whatever they say, whatever they feel, becomes the adapted to standard. Now think of what happens when a family laughs together, where everyone is treated equally or allowed the opportunity to say what they have to. No one is made to eat separately. There are cultures where the men are fed and the oldest sons are fed before any of the women are fed. Now, you can say it's misogynist or not. You can say, well, that, don't appropriate the philosophy of their culture. I'm just observing. I'm just saying that it's a phenomenon that they should understand there's a consequence to it. You see, even though we can say there's no consequence except what we politically deem as a consequence of our actions, there's always a consequence. It's like the person who says, global warming is real. It's real. Good. You're going to give up meat? Well, no. We're going to come up with a solution out of Silicon Valley. We always do. No, it was Silicon Valley that is behind a lot of our pollution, including the electromagnetic pollution, and G1, 2, 3, 4, now G5. And the Navy and its sonar program and its HARP program destroying hundreds of thousands of porpoises and whales and dolphins and sea lions over the decades. So they're not going to change anything. Name me the industry, name me the person in power who's going to say, I got it. I have to be the change. I have to make personal change and sacrifice. I've got to downsize my life. I've got to be more humble in my approaches to life, live in balance with nature, not trying to conquer it. I have to look at all animals as sentient beings. I have to respect that when I give up meat and I buy local, organically grown produce, grown with a consciousness that I'm giving up my lack of consciousness in it.